From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the News at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Millicent Walker.
Hello and welcome. Kano State government dethrones Muhammadu Sanusi II, cites alleged refusal to abide by instructions given to him, appoints former Emir of Bichi, Aminu Ado Bayero, as his replacement. Federal government confirms second case of coronavirus in the country, says new patient is the contact of the Italian index case. Nigeria Communications Commission opposes provisions of the social media bill, while some civil society groups call for its scrapping as Senate begins public hearing on the document. And Sudan's Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok survives assassination attempt targeting his convoy on his way to work in the capital, Khartoum. Plus, we have business, sports and news from Abuja, the FCT, and later, international news from our London studios. On business news tonight, markets tumble across the globe as oil price feud and COVID-19 outbreak devastate securities trading.
And on sports news tonight, following the death of Nasarawa United defender Chinme Martins, the Nigeria Football Federation directs no league matches will hold henceforth without the full complement of medical equipment and personnel.
And from Abuja, President Buhari sets up committee to assess impact of COVID-19 on the economy and a task force to coordinate multi-sectoral approach to control spread of the disease.
The Kano State government today named the former Emir of Bichi, Aminu Ado Bayero, as the new Emir of Kano after the removal of Muhammadu Sanusi II. Alhaji Ado Bayero's appointment was announced by the Secretary to the State Government, Usman Alhaji, at a news conference at the State Council chambers. It came just hours after the dethronement of the former central bank governor, whom the SSG said has consistently refused to abide by instructions of the state government. Our correspondent Idris Jibrin reports.
Shortly after the 2019 general election, Governor Abdullahi Ganduje drops a hint about reforming the state traditional institutions, and subsequently, the Kano Emir's Appointment and Deposition Act was passed into law by the State Assembly. Emir Sanusi challenged the law in court, and it was later amended to Kano Emirate Council Bill 2019, which gives the governor power to appoint and remove any emir on the ground of insubordination.
The governor, in consultation with the Emirate Council, may depose any emir in the following circumstances. 1. The deposition is required in accordance with the tradition or is necessary for the preservation of custom and tradition or peace, order, and good governance.
These and several other charges related to corruption ended the reign of Muhammadu Sanusi II as the 14th Emir of Kano. Meanwhile, a rowdy session was also recorded at the State Assembly prior to the removal of the Emir, with some lawmakers against the move, while others are in support. Less than 3 hours after the removal of Sanusi, the Emir of Bichi, Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero, one of the sons of the Sanusi's predecessor, Alhaji Ado Bayero, was appointed as the new Emir of Kano.
I have been directed by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, OFR, based on the powers conferred on him, to announce the appointment of Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero, the former Emir of Bichi Emirate, as the new Emir of Kano State, of Kano Emirate.
Security operatives sealed the Emir's palace and used tear gas to disperse protesters who were either in support of the Emir's removal or against it. Prior to the appointment, Alhaja Amina Ado Bayero was the Emir of Bichi, one of the 4 newly created emirates. It is expected that the new Emir will resume at the palace soon, even as Muhammadu Sanusi has been sent into exile in accordance with the tradition. Idris Jubrin, Channels Television News.
Now, it's about 6 years after he ascended the throne as the 14th Emir of Kano. Muhammadu Sanusi II has now been removed from office following cases of misappropriation and insubordination leveled against him. His ordeal has, however, been linked by many to his often hard-hitting stance and strong views on various social, political and national issues. Our correspondent Chris Elams reports.
Malam Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, born in July 1961, was nominated as the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria by the then President Umar Musa Yar'Adua on June 1, 2009. His appointment was confirmed by the Senate on the 3rd of June 2009 at the time the world witnessed a global financial crisis. As the CBN governor, Malam Sanusi brought about several reforms hinged on 4 major pillars: quality of bank, financial stability, healthy evolution, and contribution to a real economy. However, in 2014, it was suspended by the then President Goodluck Jonathan's administration after raising an alarm over a $20 billion NNPC scandal. Like a book with many chapters, a new page flipped for him as he was crowned Emir Muhammadu Sanusi II on the 9th of June 2014, the 14th Emir of Kano. His position as one of the most prominent traditional rulers in the country did not stop him from expressing his thoughts and views on various issues of national concerns, including girl-child education in the north.
Imagine if you set up an SPV that would raise finance internationally and use that finance to just build girls' secondary schools across the north. We have to think out of the box.
Emir Sanusi II was also very vocal about the alarming rise in poverty rate, population of Almajiris on the streets of northern Nigeria, which was put at over 9.5 million people, an issue some considered too sensitive to discuss.
You can't be happy with millions of northern children out of school. You can't be happy with 9 states in the north contributing almost 50% of the entire malnutrition burden in the country. You can't be happy with all the issues, the Almajiri problem that we have.
On several other forums, he blamed northern leaders for the endemic poverty in the region, and he was never afraid to say it, irrespective of whose ox is gold.
The intensification of poverty at the time when we have an intensification of expropriation is amazing. The richest man in Africa is from Nigeria, and Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world.
Cases of insubordination to constituted authority, as well as an alleged financial misappropriation of over 3 billion naira, were levied against him by the state government. Another fresh charge of 2 billion naira for illegal land sales soon followed. In 2019, Governor Abdullahi Ganduje signed into law the creation of 4 new emirates, a move that withered down Sanusi's influence as the most prominent traditional ruler of the state. He was, however, appointed chairman of the Traditional Council and given an ultimatum to perform his role or face expulsion. Based on the recommendation of the Kano State Public Complaint and Anti-Corruption Commission, as well as the report of the Kano State Assembly Committee on the Emirate, Muhammadu Sanusi II was removed from office, just as his grandfather, Muhammadu Sanusi I, deposed in 1963 by Premier Ahmadu Bello.
Following the dethronement of Muhammadu Sanusi as Emir of Kano, his lawyer, Abubakar Mahmood, has hinted at the possibility of the former central bank governor taking appropriate steps to get justice. Mr. Mahmood, who spoke with our correspondent Charles Aruka via telephone, says today's action is unconstitutional and has no legal justification.
What do you think about the dethronement of Sanusi as the Emir by the Kano state government?
Well, thank you very much, first of all, for reaching out to us to have this interview. As you know, I'm one of the senior lawyers representing the Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi II. And he has been obviously in various legal tussle with the state government over the last 3 or so years. And so this did not come to us as a surprise, although we were somewhat embarrassed at the manner in which this was done without giving him any fair hearing or observing any due process safeguards. However, the government has announced its decision dethroning him, and he was this evening taken into custody and flown to Abuja. We are going to be in touch with him to discuss what line of action to take as his lawyers. We as lawyers, of course, fully believe that this action was illegal and unconstitutional, and more so the aspect of banishment. Under our constitution, nobody can be deprived of his liberty in the manner that he has been deprived of his, and nevertheless we'll be in touch with him, and hopefully we'll come up with a clear position on the matter in due course.
Well, you've talked about the next line of action and would like to know, as his lawyer, what measures would you be taking with respect to today's decision by the Kano state government? That's talking about the next line of action from a legal perspective.
The next line of action will obviously depend on instruction from His Highness the Emir. There are 2 aspects to it, the dethronement and the banishment. So we will be consulting with him. I've had a meeting with him before he was taken into custody, and obviously at that point he hadn't taken a decision on his whether he's going to pursue this matter in court or not. So we'll give him time to consult on that and to decide on the dethronement. But of course, as far as his liberty is concerned, we are very firmly clear that this is an illegal act, and we'll certainly also be considering what line of action to take, hopefully by tomorrow once I hear from him.
But do you also see the possibility of the dethronement being reversed by the court?
Anything that is illegal and unconstitutional can be reversed by a court of law, and that is why we have a written constitution, and that's why we have courts in place. So under the constitution of the country, whenever members of the executive branch of government take decisions that are illegal or unconstitutional, the courts are there for citizens to seek redress. So we are confident that given the facts of this case, if the matter were to go to court, if His Highness was to challenge this action, definitely the courts will reverse this decision, which was, in our view, very brazen and illegal.
In part 2, after the break, away from the dethronement issue, Academic Staff Union of Universities embark on 2-week warning strike over alleged non-implementation of outstanding issues from its Memorandum of Understanding reached between 2009 and 2019. Please join us again.